Hi everybody, this is RJ here at Netra Labs, and wanted to make this video. We've been, as you probably could have noticed, we've been silent these past couple of months, and the reasoning for that is because we've been building, and that's been our entire focus since day one, is to build, build, build. And the reasoning why is because we feel that this technology is really just in its infancy, but there's so much potential of how this can be leveraged for businesses. And, again, small businesses are our focus because we feel they have been the most neglected when it comes to AI advancement. Now that's changing, and small businesses certainly are adopting more and more AI solutions, which we think is fantastic. However, there is still very much a huge gap between small businesses and being able to leverage complex AI solutions that will be able to make their business operate better. And I just want to reiterate that when we say small businesses, we really do stand by that statement. There are over 99% of all businesses in just the United States are small businesses, roughly about 33 million. But across the world, there's roughly about 500 million estimated small businesses. And those are the ones we are trying to impact with our solution, with Kait. What I wanted to show you here, this is our About Us page, which gives a little bit of a backstory of where us, Netra Labs, as a company, where we started and how we came to developing Kait, which is one of our core products. And, the purpose of Kait is to solve business problems, real business problems. Now, you see these modes here on the right, and they kind of may seem like a little bit of silly names, but the reasoning why is we wanted to really showcase how each of these are trying to solve core fundamental problems that any small business would face, and in essence, any enterprise would face. So the first mode, Autoverse. The reason why we called it that is it sounded better than just saying autonomous agent that will follow specific workflow. We wanted to give it a bit more of a catchier name. Hopefully you can understand that. But the point of this is that we wanted to showcase how you can create an agent that'll be able to follow a predefined workflow that either you can set or that she will set depending on the data that you provide to her. No customization is really needed. No coding, no configuration other than uploading your data and setting the parameters and giving your single command. And in this mode, she's able to follow not just the workflow, but a core task that you give her. So the easiest example is a customer support agent. Customer support agents that operate on your website that can answer customer questions or resolve issues without having to involve a human. But if it is required, you still want that agent to be able to communicate with your employees and say, hey, we were unable to resolve this issue. I've set up this calendar invite for this time. That's something that in Autoverse that she's able to do right now. And we feel that as fundamentally, that is a core business problem that a lot of small businesses face. And I'm talking about the small businesses that not do 20 million a year, but that do $200,000 a year. Does it mean that that they wouldn't benefit from a solution like that? Of course they would. And that's what we're trying to go for, is that this is meant to solve multiple different business problems with one solution. And this is just the beginning. If we look at these modes, these 6 problems we're attempting to solve, they're all solving them in a different way. Autoverse is where with a single instruction, she will be able to follow a workflow and do a task that you set for her, and she will not hallucinate in terms of speaking outside of whatever data you provide to her. We feel that that's something that it goes beyond just a customer support agent. Think of any role and any task that you feel that can be done autonomously with minimal human input. That's what this mode is meant for. And as we go down the line to the other modes, multiverse mode, this one's more experimental, where she's able to look at the data provided, but also explore and generate responses based off the other data she is trained on. Now, what use cases can use that for? Just a very simple one that I say from the consulting experience that I've had. I cannot tell you how much time is spent building presentations for prospects and clients. And now this isn't meant to say that this will generate a presentation with graphics and all that. It's not there yet. But what it can do is you upload your presentation, give her the command saying, you're a consultant that is going to help me edit this presentation for a proposal. And she'll be able to brainstorm and work with you on generating the content for that presentation. But it goes beyond just that. What about if you had, let's say they're looking at 3 different companies and you have all of their 10K forms and you wanted to do some competitive analysis on all 3. Upload all 3 of those documents and say that I want you to do competitive analysis on this and brainstorm with me on how to determine which of these have a better competitive advantage. These are just, again, some of the use cases of multiverse. And honestly, we haven't even figured out all of the ones that she's able to do. What we built is that fundamental framework and architecture that we can now build on top of. And I think that's a key point a lot of people are missing with this, is that we are not here to compete with OpenAI or Google or Microsoft. Instead, we are utilizing their technologies as a core component in our architecture or different core business use cases. Universe mode. Well, again, what does this do? How's it different from the others? Knowledge management or access to information and answering questions, that goes across the board of an organization. I can't tell you how many times for onboarding you have new trainees that are hired that are not sure how does this process, what's the standard operating procedure for this particular process. Instead of having to involve some of their higher ups or managers, what if they had an ability to ask an agent saying, what is exactly the expected SLA for submitting invoices? Or what's the expected SLA for XYZ? Or maybe you have you just rolled out some benefit programs to your employees, and you want your employees to be able to ask at any time, well, is this covered or not? Or what benefits do I have or not? Universe mode is meant to solve the problem of if you have a corpus of data that you want to be able to get answers or insights from that corpus of data and provide that to users, that's what Universe mode is meant to do. It's meant to answer questions. And well, what it answers questions about will always vary depending on the use case. But we wanted to showcase that this is a core component. We feel that that is something that is going to be a requirement across any business in any industry. And we wanted to build out that foundation for that mode. And that's what Universe mode is. Now, Socialverse, one of our newer modes, you cannot tell me as a small business or any business that you cannot have a social media presence and still be successful. That is not the world that we live in today. You need to have a social media presence. And as you can tell, there's a lot of different channels of social media. The way you post on Facebook is different than the way you post on LinkedIn, which is different than the way you post on Instagram, which is different than the way you post on Twitter. They all have different ways. So what I feel would be very useful for any small business owner is to be able to upload information about their company, their differentiators, or what it is that that makes them special, and have a social media manager that could brainstorm with you on saying, I need to make a campaign for LinkedIn and for Twitter. Can you write me a post based upon this particular product that I want to promote? And can you make that post for LinkedIn, but can you also make a tweet for Twitter? And she's able to make both of those in their both respective formats and then say, okay, great, now go post those for me. That's what Socialverse is meant to do. It's where it's a consolidated location of where you can have your agent work with you on creating those posts and in terms of promoting your brand and then being able to post for you. And this is, again, just the beginning. In the future, you'll be able to utilize this to, okay, maybe I want to get some information. How many people replied or commented on my last 10 posts? Show me. What are some of the differences of what made one post more successful than the other? Now, that's not that particular feature we don't currently have integrated yet, but that's where we're going. And the point of saying that this is that foundation where we are building on top of, and why it's so fundamentally important in terms of what we are trying to solve here is that we want to provide a all-in-one solution that solves many different business problems, because that's what's needed today. Sure, there are niche solutions that can say they do everything that I just said there in their own unique way, but they all cost their own representative cost structures. They all have their own unique configuration requirements. They all have their own need to be able to be trained up on their solution. We wanted to take all of that away. We wanted to provide something that this is just the one thing that you'll need to be able to get this amount of value immediately. And hopefully that's something that people will find valuable. And just to say that in the past week, since we were featured on the generative AI LinkedIn community, we now have users signed up in over 108 countries, from Papua New Guinea to Namibia, to Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, to Serbia, to Argentina and Brazil. Over 108 countries, we have users that resonate with this message. And we feel that number, especially the countries and numbers of users, that is only going to increase as we build this out more. And talking about some of those problems that they were, again, trying to solve here with these other two. Dataverse. Every small business, every business in general needs to do data analysis in some form or another. Now, of course, there's a lot of complicated, or should I say comprehensive, data analytics solutions. I am not saying that this is meant to replace all of that. What I am saying is that this is a fundamental component of our all-in-one solution that any business owner can leverage. So at the same time, a business owner can leverage this solution, which will be able to post for them and do social media. Also, at the same time, it'll also be able to do data analysis and look at their recent transaction history. What does their budget the last 6 months look like? What are some insights on maybe how can we optimize that? Now, is it going to be as perfect as a dedicated point solution? Probably not in the beginning, no. But does that matter if we are able to provide the comprehensiveness of this? And these models that are the engine of our car, our architecture, are only going to get better. GPT-4 is what we utilize for this because it is currently the state-of-the-art model. But Gemini from Google is the first large language model that is built from the ground up to be multimodal. And that's expected in the next coming months. And it's already been released that Gemini 2 is already in training. What's going to happen when you're able to not only just put in text, but images, videos, graphs, blueprints as inputs for Kait? That's where we feel that this is just the beginning. So if you're looking at this from a perspective of, oh, well, XYZ solution does this thing better. Okay, that may be true. And we're okay with that because what we are saying is that we are not trying to provide point solutions. We are trying to provide a comprehensive solution, trying to provide a solution that out of the box can provide value with little to no configuration or effort from the business. So they can focus on what they do best, which is their business, not data analytics, not social media management strategies, not creating a question answering system. We wanted to provide these core fundamental components. And the last thing, because I know I'm going on a bit of a rant here, in terms of the problems we are trying to solve, is our newest mode, which currently is not available on our production site. It's still only available on our test site, is what we call Invoice First. And this just goes to show, one, how quickly we're able to build out these modes or these products to solve problems. And honestly, this was a problem that was brought up to us by a partner that honestly we were shocked that it was such a problem in the industry. And invoices, and I'm not talking about invoices that are just images, but machine readable first generation invoices. You have no idea how many organizations have to manually extract the data points from an invoice, even if it's machine readable, because just like everything, they all come in different templates, structures, and so on. Now, with traditional solutions, you have to map to those. That takes time. That takes effort. And small businesses do not have that time to spend on just that problem. Well, large language models are very, very good at understanding natural language. So you can imagine that being able to extract certain fields from a machine-readable document is a pretty easy problem to solve with these technologies. And that is one that we have built, and it'll be out in the next coming weeks where you'll be able to leverage it, where you can upload your invoices, your PDF, and the data will be extracted and put into a CSV file that you can upload into any of your representative systems. And in the future, we'll be able to create integrations with whatever your system is. And then again, now just imagine when Gemini and these other multimodal models come out, it'll be able to handle not just machine readable, but also images as well. This is just the start. This is just the beginning. So I know we haven't publicly launched yet, but again, you can go on our website right now and try out Kait yourself. But I just wanted to set the precedent of what it is that we are trying to do, because I know we have been silent these past couple of months because we've been building and looking at how the industry has been kind of looking at this. Yes, generative AI went through a major hype cycle. That does not mean that it does not provide value, especially to small businesses. And I think a lot of people are missing the point of how technologies and products like Kait really fit into this bigger picture. And before I end, I want to show you one graphic that I got from, it's one of my favorite YouTube channels called Cold Fusion. that he made a video last year that talked a bit about how companies like OpenAI and Google and so on, how they are looking at this landscape in the future. And I think it's really interesting when you look at it like this, because this is how I do feel this industry is going to progress, where you're going to have those layer ones or those foundational models like Gemini, like GPT-4, like Claude, those where they're spending billions and billions and billions of dollars training, optimizing for that generalized knowledge. But of course, you're going to have these layers that are built on top of those for specific business problems. And that's where we live. That's where we are putting our focus on now, is in being able to leverage the best of the best in terms of these state-of-the-art models and utilizing them for our own intents and purposes to solve business problems that small businesses are undoubtedly facing, but that they are unable to afford individual niche solutions for each of those problems, and they don't have the time to have to learn how to make each one work. We feel that in the future that there's going to be more comprehensive solutions of solving multiple different cross-functional problems at once. And that's really what our bet is as a startup. That is what we truly believe. And that's what we're going to continue to do. We're going to continue to building out Kait, continue to building out modes that solve different, unique problems. And I hope that you all follow us on this journey. We're just getting started, and this space is very, very exciting. There's a lot of misinformation, a lot of hype that is out there, but what we're here to show you is this is the ground truth value that you can realize now. Forget about what people think about 3 to 5 years from now, AGI, all of that. I'm saying, what can we provide now that solves business problems now? And that's what we're doing here with Kait. And the reasoning why we're providing this for free right now, where all you need is your GPT-4 key from OpenAI, because that is the state-of-the-art model that is available right now to the public. That will change over time, and we will have capabilities where you can switch between those LLMs. But the reasoning why we're providing this for free is because this is new. This is a new concept, not just new technologies in the sense of generative AI, but more autonomous agents, ones that can operate without human oversight and be able to do processes, tasks, and functions that are problems for any business. And we feel that those that are trying to monetize these very individual and specific opportunities, we feel they're kind of missing the forest for the trees, because if you open up the access to this so people can start to see what it is that we are trying to do, then they will start to get more enthused, and they'll start to want to be part more of this ecosystem. And we're going to continue to grow out this ecosystem. And as we go through our fundraising and go through investment, we're going to be looking for investors who understand what it is that we're trying to do, because we really fundamentally believe is that in the future, these next layers are going to be ecosystems unto themselves that'll solve specific business problems, whether by industry, by vertical, so on. And we feel that this is just the beginning. So I know that this is a long video, is a bit of a rant, but I did want to kind of showcase again what it is that we're trying to do here and the approach that we're going after. In the next couple of weeks, you'll see our more formal launch. But again, you can certainly go to mykait.ai. If you have GPT-4 access, put in your API key there and start to see for yourself. Please go to our YouTube channel, Kait from Netra Labs, that we created specifically for this, where I have created a good amount of videos showcasing each of the different steps of our wizard, how each of the modes work, how to interact with Kait, and how to get, sign up and even get your GPT-4 access key. I just made a video for that because some of the feedback we got since last week was asking those questions. I'm going to continue to upload onto that channel with all the different use cases that I find. Now, as you can see, that we are a bootstrap startup right now. We don't have a fancy marketing team. Everything that we have is going towards building, and our team to build. But we're going to continue to spread the word in the best way that we can. And we truly hope that over time, you'll start to see what it is that we are doing, and that the value that we hope can be provided to small businesses, and honestly, any business, but small businesses in particular, because again, they've just been left out of the conversation. And we really feel that that's an area, that's a market that is truly untapped. And with this particular architecture in place, we feel is really going to explode and benefit the most from this AI revolution that we've been seeing these past couple of months. So I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions on that, please, feel free to comment or, reach out on LinkedIn or email. We have our Discord on our website. Please feel free to reach out there as well. These next couple of months are going to be very exciting. There's going to be a lot of new updates, a lot of exciting changes that we hope that you'll be able to follow and be interested in seeing. So until our next video, until we have that public launch, I hope you all have a great day, and thank you very much for listening. And until the next video, thank you.